So, when people throw around the term crazy sprite concept, I always wonder what exactly counts as crazy. Is it just wild visuals, or is there more to it than that?
It's usually a mix. Sure, wild visuals catch your eye, but sometimes it's the unexpected movement or even the story behind the sprite that makes it feel truly out there. Like, I once saw a game where the sprite was just a walking slice of bread with sunglasses.
A walking slice of bread? That's the kind of thing you don't forget. It's so random that it becomes memorable. Do you think that's what makes these sprites so appealing? The unpredictability?
Absolutely. Unpredictability is a huge part of it. When you see something so weird, it almost dares you to figure out what's going on. Plus, it brings a fresh energy to the game or project. It's like anything can happen next.
Now, I'm curious, where do these crazy ideas even come from? Are artists just daydreaming, or is there a method to the madness?
Funny you ask, because sometimes it's pure daydreaming. But often, it's a mix of creative brainstorming and playful challenges. Like, can we make a boss that's just a pile of spaghetti? Those what-if scenarios snowball.
That reminds me of jam sessions where everyone is just riffing, tossing out the most ridiculous concepts. I bet some of the best sprites come from those sessions where there aren't any rules.
Exactly. Creativity thrives when there's room to be silly or experimental. The less pressure to make sense, the more likely you'll stumble onto something original, and sometimes, the crazy ideas just work.
Speaking of originality, the art style for a crazy sprite must really stand out. What do artists do to push boundaries visually?
One thing I love is when artists break proportions, like giving a character gigantic hands or eyes that float beside their face. Or they'll use colors that don't even exist in reality, just to see what happens. It's super playful.
Colors that don't exist in reality? That sounds almost psychedelic. I guess that makes the design instantly eye-catching, even if it's a bit confusing at first glance.
Oh yeah, the confusion is half the fun. You want people to do a double take, maybe even laugh or ask, "What am I looking at?" It opens the door to all sorts of creative storytelling.
Now that we've covered visuals, let's talk animation. How do you make the movement as wild as the design itself?
What surprised me most is how much movement matters. Imagine a blob character that jiggles like jelly every time it jumps, or a robot that moonwalks instead of walking straight. Those odd motions stick with you.
I love that. It's almost like the movement tells its own joke, separate from how the sprite looks. Do you think there's a risk of going too far, like making it so weird it's distracting?
There's definitely a balance. If the movement gets too chaotic, it can pull people out of the experience. But when it's just weird enough, it makes the sprite more memorable and fun. A little goes a long way.
With all these wild ideas, do you think crazy sprite concepts actually help a game or story stand out, or do they sometimes just confuse people?
It's a bit of both, honestly. When done right, a bizarre sprite becomes the thing people talk about. Think about the goose in Untitled Goose Game. Weird, simple, but unforgettable. But if it's random with no context, players might miss the point.
So it sounds like the real magic is in that sweet spot, a concept that's wild, but still fits the world in some way. That's probably why people remember those sprites long after playing.
Definitely. When a sprite's weirdness feels intentional, it adds flavor and personality. It's like a secret handshake between the creator and the player, and that's what keeps us coming back for more wild ideas.